Hi, my name is Pam McNall. I'm the founder of Respectful Ways. Thank you so much for adopting our social and emotional learning curriculum. You are attending a video training, an onboard video training, so you, your staff, and students really get to understand how best to use this program. You might want to get a pen and a piece of paper in case you'd like to write some notes. We are a digital curriculum that come with some assets for either your home or classroom. So for example, we have our signage, enjoy the journey, have fun, don't make fun. These signs are wonderful reminders that you use as a tool, a classroom management tool or a home management tool to really emphasize the message that they're learning. Let's Chat conversation cards are the first activity. They all come with 3 questions each. You get to really explain to the kids what hone in on what the messages might be. We also have some superhuman capes. These are just some extras that are wonderful that the kids really love. We are a digital curriculum with 2 modules, one for you to control as the educator and one for your students to control on their own device, whether it's at home or at school. So I'm going to share my screen so you can learn and see a lot about respectful ways. So the first thing that I think is really important for you to take a look at is the welcome pack. This welcome pack, this is the URL up here. If you click here, you will be able to read the document that we've written to explain a lot about who we are and what we offer. We also have here our terms of use agreement. So you would fill this in, do your signature, and then here is where you'd read about expectations for not sharing our intellectual property, etc. So please make sure to take a look and fill this out before starting Respectful Ways. Our program is turnkey for you. I want you to see some elements that are right on our homepage, trauma informed. Very important that you realize that we have partnered with the Attachment and Trauma Network. They are the largest think tank for trauma sensitive school and trauma informed learning. They have gone through 350 of our lesson plans and either tweaked or approved of the language. And they then went into every single one of our digital slides, digital modules to again tweak or approve to make sure that everything is perfect for children with ACEs, adverse childhood experiences. And with something like a global pandemic, children are in need of social skills and emotional intelligence. So teaching that whole child is exactly where we need to be. Also, on our homepage, take a look at the program. You can just discover about our research-based learning, our fulfilled standards, as well as ASCA standards, state standards, and of course, Common Core. How we blend with your PBIS matrix. If you are a PBIS school, you can pick a la carte which modules that work for your specific expectations from your matrix. Our workshops and trainings are for professional development, social and emotional PD, and original hip hop music. We have 2 hip hop artists on staff, as well as a number of poets. We have hundreds of original poems in Respectful Ways because the spoken word is so very important for children. Shop, take a look at what we have here. If you'd want to know more about which of the modules, say, that might speak to your specific needs, that you know that all of a sudden you've got a lot of disrespectful cell phone use, then hey, you could adopt different modules. So we just wanted you to know a little more and understand about how our program works. Logging in, what you need to do is you go straight ahead and you just click sign in, and you use your username and password. I'm using school@abc.com. So now notice the upper right hand corner right under sign in is now my portal. My portal is where you access your courses. And so I am going to take a look at Let's see, I'm going to look at board, get creative. How about that? Let's do that, okay? Board, get creative. Think about how many children do not have an idea of how to get a little creative when they get bored. I'm bored. Welcome to Respectful Ways. Riley here is one of 9 of our characters. All of our characters are ethnically diverse and they grow in age with your students. So from pre-K all the way through high school, they are growing in age with your students. So I want you to understand this is your module. Notice you have course materials, your help page is here. The menu is always behind the scenes here. You could always click back to the menu if you get lost. This is all educator pointing material for you. And then student begin class and end class is student pointing materials. And then we have an educator wrap up and rate this course. You could tell us how you feel at the end of all 5 activities. It's very important to notice, so you can either click here to get a glimpse of our materials or the course help here. Now notice it says up here, we want you to make sure these are extra links that are wonderful to use. So let's say you have an Instagram or Facebook PTA page that's very active. You can share some of the materials that the children made and really engage the community, engage families. So right here, I'm going to click on the course materials and resources. All of our modules have this CMR page, course materials and resources, and they all look like this. The overview course, I'm going to open that one. What we did for you here is a big picture introduction, but we grabbed snippets of the online material and we got it onto the page here for you so you could read this one document and really get a feel for what the children are going to be doing. Okay, for example, this one, they're going to type right into their own, whether it's a tablet or a Chromebook, etc. Or you're controlling it. So it's either or. We have found, research has proven that children can be inauthentic online. So we really want to stress that you are still in charge here. The internet has not taken your job. The children should not be on their own. It is very much you guiding them along the way with all of our course materials. So let's see, let's do battle boredom with a board game. This is activity 3. I picked this one. The teacher's summary is, if you don't have time to read the 3-page document itself, you could always take a look at this. These are every expectation you would have: essential guiding questions, rationale, the activity objective, materials that you need, your introduction and discussion points for the children and you, and then instructions. And then this one, I happen to notice, has a printout. So we've got the RW board game, so board game, get it? And so we've designed this one for you to play with, but meanwhile, the actual project-based learning going on here for the children is they're going to develop their own. So we give you your blank board game, and then they can fill it out in any way they like to see how they might move along the way to stop boredom. The whole point of this is, how do I stop boredom? How do I think special, different? Now, let's see what else we have. On your course materials and resources page, you always have your award printout and promise pledge. These can be printed and given out to students, as well as digitally typed in, and you could send that digitally. Same with the promise pledge. So these can be physical items that you hand out where you can really stress to the kids, you promised that you were going to refuse to speak the words "I'm bored," or you promised that you would be creative. So this is that every single one of them is unique and different. This specific module is for 3rd, 4th, 5th graders. So let's see what kind of Common Core standards are hit. All of these are hyperlinked, so you can go straight to the standard itself and mark these down for all of the different grade levels. This is a 12-page document with the standards that are hit if you do all 5 activities. And then, of course, we have our important counselors, social workers. They if you've done, so for example, you skipped activities 3, 4, and 5, you cannot claim this standard. So it's very simple to follow along. Our surveys are very unique. You have pre, mid, and post survey. It's up to whether your school and you have data as a priority. Some people want this and some don't. So we offer it, and it's up to you on how and when you'd like to use it. They're simple questions with a 1 through 10 here. Parents or student email is if they want to include it. This is extremely important. I'm excited that you'll be able to see that that goes directly to you with the name of the module itself and the student's name. So isn't that lovely that you don't have to dig around? If there's that one student that you want to know how they're doing, and if they're paying attention, if they want to know a little more, you can find out how they're specifically doing. And here's the post survey. Now that you have completed, do you understand how to get creative and not just turn to the video games? Now, this is where you share the student digital materials. So we're going to go through this in a minute, but I want to make sure that we go through all of the course materials. We are big researchers here in Respectful Ways. And so, for example, enjoy being bored. So this is, we find interesting articles or materials or TED Talks that we have followed. For example, this is a YouTube TED Talk about boredom and creativity. And so just wanted to make sure that you saw that we share with you extras that you might want to take advantage of. For parents and caregivers, very, very important, we have the Home Connects. The Home Connects goes home either electronically or by printout. You can certainly do a printout. And it's objectives and the questions, Q&A. We give you the parents the answers just in case the kids don't remember. They'll always know. And then the best part about this is the activity ideas. We give you some great ideas to do around the kitchen table. Every single module has an English and Spanish Home Connects. This is the duplicated information. As you can see, it's just in Spanish, and then you know where and how to send. So if this is going to be done digitally, you send it through your e-learning platform that your school has adopted. And you send this out and say, hey, you got to make sure that your parents get this, or hey, here's a printout. And then I do a blog. We're writers and researchers here, so we all know how important storytelling and you can share your own relatable story as well. So if you have found that you remember being bored in a way you got creative, please share it. We also have this extra caregiver award for any administrator or parent or anyone who has gone extra mile, just to acknowledge just how wonderful some of our staff and parents are. So I'm going to close out a lot of these items that are just important for you to have. This is all of your elements to play with. And now you feel good. We're going to go now to the program. So begin class. I hope you can hear that. There's music throughout our whole program. We want to show you that there are these, this is called the quotes and signage page, which really gives you an idea of what, what does Earl Nightingale have to say about fixing our boredom? And it's just a reminder, if you do end up taking, thanks for being a champion. If you end up taking a number of weeks, it's just a way to remind the kids, this is another dangle, carrot to dangle. You can hand them out to the majority of your students, but really this is about the kid who persevered. You know, who's gone that extra mile? Let them know how special they are. And that's why you got to spread that out. You got to make sure that when you're giving out these rewards, like the cape, the superhuman cape, you know, give it to that one kid who's just always not quite there. It's incredible the impact that you can make with such a simple thing as an award. I'm sure you know. So we here battle board with a board game. Now, your job, if you are controlling the module in the classroom through a whiteboard or through a projector, it is up to you to be either assigning this to so a child can say, Omar, what creative ideas does Omar have? You know, Alex, what does Alex have to say? Okay, and this is what he has to say or she has to say. So they can see this on the whiteboard. If I'm going to show you the children's version in a second. Um, this is now the information. How can we have helpful tips to share making a board game? So tips for making the game. If you go back to your activity, we give you those tips. We are a wingman the entire time. Do not feel like you're out there alone. We are giving you this tip. So if this is something that's being done at home, I would absolutely copy and paste this material to give to the parents who might be involved in this project. So that if the child's like, I don't know, I don't have an answer, well, then the parents could help and put some suggestions in here. Now, if you feel like you would like to see what the child has, you can screen grab that and have it sent to your e-learning program, your email, so you can absolutely share screens, screen grab with the kids. And now here's an example. So we give that example that we showed, but then they get to make this at school or at home, depending. What did we learn? Okay, so what have we learned? You're learning that every single one of our activities have a respectful wrap. The reason we have a wrap is because they're very busy doing project-based learning that we have to bring it back to the why. This is the highlighted important suggestion that you really want to get across to the kids. So let's talk about balancing our life. Okay, so now another thing you could do is you can click here or next to get to the promise pledge. This one has a little music. I'm going to turn the music off. Every single module has a promise pledge. For the children, tap their hearts to the beat of the pledge. Tapping is an anti-anxiety remedy that is taken schools by storm of late and is very effective for calming. And really, honestly, if you tap right under the clavicle as a meridian flow, if you tap, you will feel a difference while you're saying things like, I believe in me, I am worthy, I am capable, I love myself, I refuse to speak the words I'm bored. I'll keep this promise to dream and invent in the face of boredom. So it's really a wonderful pledge. We hope you had fun with respectful ways today. So this is the end where the students end, but you continue. Why I wanted to make sure that you got to this part is we're about to get to the educator wrap. At the end of the entire module, we would love it if you would rate this course to let us know your feedback because, and it's as simple as grabbing which one it was. It was effective, but the students weren't paying attention, and here's why. My staff and I received these, and this is how we have made some really important changes. Because we're digital, we had someone suggest that they don't have time to read 3 and 4 page lesson plan all the time. Could you give us a summary? So this here came from one of these filled out surveys that was such a logical ad. It's cliff notes that if you don't have time to read the entire lesson plan, we understand how busy counselors and educators are. You can read this and really get an idea of what's going on. Here's where you can, at a snap, be on the Instagram page of your school or be on the Facebook PTA page at your at your school, and the parents then are involved. So visualize it. They're picking the kids up. What'd you do today? Nothing. Well, I saw that you built a board game, right? So it's just some extra wonderful ads that we have. So now I'm going to go back to our course materials. Actually, I'm just going to call it up right here. Let's do it. Course materials. And in this course materials page, if you recall this area, this is the link to the student version. You are going to grab all of this material and send it to your student via your school's e-learning platform, whether it's Google Classroom or EverFi, whatever one you guys are using. You send it along with whatever elements you want. There's a pre-survey, a mid-survey, and a post-survey. You can send those along as well. So you can send out these guides and materials. I have a water right here, pardon me. Okay, so I'm better, thank you. Link to the student version. You're going to send all of this to the kids. But meanwhile, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the password right here. I'm going to grab a copy of that. That's going to open right there. And here is the password protected web page. It's a 6-digit password that the students get to go into. And now here we are in the student version. Welcome to Respect Board Get Creative. Here they are, and you have to find out if the teacher asked to fill out the survey or not. Start this course. Now here's what the students get to use. Notice we welcome them, and notice that course materials are not there. It is up to you to make sure that they have what they need. The menu is very similar, except it does not bring them to any social media, as you can see, and learn more about this module is very similar, but we're going to begin class. Okay, what we're going to do here is I'm going to notice it's about to pop up. I promise to be open to learning new ideas and will give honest answers. That's for the children to click. Here's a little extra information. We also explain this here under help. If you see under help, pay attention to each slide. Look for the buttons and prompts to click to open new content. That's for the kids to recognize. Scroll over the yellow buttons, and we're going to learn what Earl Nightingale had to say. So, thanks for being a champion. Again, you dangle that carrot. I'm going to do stepping out of my box. Let's try this one. What's interesting is let's go to our course materials. Let's open activity 5 and see, here's your teacher summary, essential questions, rationale, objective, etc. And so instructions, everything that you would expect. So you can share elements of this with your students and their parents if they're at home. If they are in school, then it's you reading this document or reading the teacher summary so you can take charge and talk to the kids about what they're going to do. So here, notice we have to click some prompts to see what's going to happen, and we're going to step out of our box. This is a poem. We have all the kids singing together or saying together, my mind at work creatively. Okay, so they're going to actually be really thinking about stepping out of their box. What can I do to step out of my box? I'm going to click more. And here we are. We're going to really get imaginative, and we're going to visualize and daydream. What they're making is an actual box, a creation formation box. Ask myself, why am I bored? What time of day? What time of day? That was a great one. You know, is it always a certain time of day? What can I do that at that time of day? How can I brainstorm? Let's keep this list, right? Let's turn back to this list. Take a walk, observe nature's creation, but meanwhile, they're going to make their own creation formation. So now you're breaking out the box. As you know, you're going to look at the activity guide. Each student, let's see if a material's needed, your cardboard boxes. So with all of the online deliveries that we get, I'm sure you can talk to fellow educators and have one cardboard box each for each student, and they're just going to make whatever they make for their creation. Let's get them really thinking here. Okay, so that's when they get busy. So guess what? 20, 30 minutes later, we have that respectful wrap to remind them it's time to step out of that box. Look at boredom with a new perspective. And again, you can click here or next for the promise pledge. And it's the same pledge. You'll recognize it. It's very good that by the fifth time they say this pledge, they mean it, they feel it. And here we go. And now it ends here for them. So if they'd like to discover more activities, they can click up here or follow your instructions. You let them know via your school's e-platform what your expectations are. If you only want them to do activity one, or you could say, look, we have to stop at activity one. Notice it shows it as complete. They've done number 5. We want to make sure that they're following what you do. So that is us in a nutshell. Let's see what else I could share with you. That CMR page is so important. That is where all of your bread and butter is. It's where the goods are. Keep on going back to let us know how we can help you. You can reach us at staff@respectfulways.com. We love hearing from you. If there's any training that needs to happen, whether it's at district level, school level, or even a parent at home, we're there for you. So thank you so very much. You want to stop sharing so I can say a final goodbye and thank you. And we look forward to connecting again. Take care. Bye-bye.